Hi there, welcome to Terrorland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Aquarius energy, and like usual, we're going to do two rows. The top row is going to be what people are doing in their life that harness high vibe Aquarius energy. They have hope and faith and belief in their dreams. They're looking at life from a bigger picture. They're loving and believing in themselves, offering themselves forgiveness and compassion. You know, we've all had lessons to learn in life, and they've learned some of those lessons to keep moving forward, believing in their dreams. And the bottom row is going to be some people that maybe haven't learned the same lessons in life that you've learned, and they could have to. Maybe they don't see life from a higher perspective. Maybe they don't have hope and faith and belief in themselves. Maybe they don't see life from a higher perspective. Maybe they think all there is the world, and it's all about looking like a shining star in the world. And then you could have people that are a little bit more shadowy, who are very egotistical and self centered. It's all about them, and they're the most important person in relationships. Everybody else is supposed to put aside their pride and ego, but not them. They're used to being indulged. So we're going to see how different people are handling their Aquarius energy. In the top row, we have three cards that came out that aren't showing themselves. It could be things that people don't know about you. It also could reflect some of the people in your life that you're not working with anymore because they did kind of harness shadowy Aquarius energy. And we can all harness all the different traits and characteristics of the zodiac signs. It just depends. Are we more love focused? Are we more worldly focused? Are we more self focused, ego focused? So, the reason these cards came out is because of the Seven of Pentacles, which is Taurus energy, which is giving thought and consideration to your philosophy of life. Our Taurus energy kind of dictates how we view relationships, how we view ourselves, how we view the world. What is our underlying philosophy of life? Some people don't know what your underlying philosophy of life is. Some people who might be in some shadowy energy might want to be in a relationship with you, but they don't know if you're in shadowy energy or more fearful, prideful, egotistical energy. They could be sad, and they could have illusions that they could be in a relationship with you and stop you from loving yourself and believing in yourself. Because if they don't love and believe in themselves, and they haven't gotten in the driver's seat of their own life to take the reins of their dualistic nature, and they keep kind of running their life off into the ditch, they could be sad and they want to be in a relationship with someone, and they might look at you as someone they'd like to be in a relationship with. Because if you're loving and you're warm and you're giving and all those good things, they might want to be in a relationship with you, but they can only be in a relationship with you if they can make you buy into some illusion about who they are. And they'd have to try to make you view them as a loving person, that they have let go of either someone in their life who they previously thought they were going to have a victory with, but it kind of blew up in their face. And now they're sad, and they could be emotionally confused, and they might want to be in a relationship with you because the people they thought they were going to have a victory with, it didn't work out. And then some people who are in shadowy Aquarius energy, they like to be the center of attention, and they like people to orient around them. That's kind of what they love. They've had relationships in their past that didn't work out, and they could be people who have these illusions about what it means to be in a relationship. And it's not moving forward in an emotionally balanced, loving way. They don't want to do that because they could be egotistical, self-centered, focused on past pain and heartbreak, and they don't want to do love. They could get hurt doing love. And in order to be in a relationship with you, they'd have to do something or hope that you don't love and believe in yourself. Because if you love and believe in yourself, you'd want them to love and believe in themselves. And you maybe wouldn't be willing to move forward with them if they're emotionally confused about letting go of their more ego focused, image focused way of living life. Because that's what the Chariot card can be about. And if they are very ego image focused and like to look victorious in the world and live in this illusion about relationships, that maybe it is about getting in relationships to make it look like you're moving forward in life, that you've had a victory, that it makes them look like they're emotionally stable and like a loving person. But if you're aligned with love, you also probably are in the driver's seat of your life. And you also, in Cancer and Gemini energy, you listen to your intuition to guide you. And you're not going to let someone disrupt your life and try to emotionally confuse you and manipulate you to not live your life in an emotionally balanced, loving way. When we go up and look at the top row, you could have gotten in relationships with some people, and because they don't want to move forward in love, but they wanted to be in a relationship with you, they could have done things that were emotionally confusing in order to try to destabilize you so you wouldn't love and believe in yourself, so you would indulge them in a relationship. And if you are unwilling to do that and you let this foundation go because you saw the truth, that they're not very emotionally balanced, they're not moving forward in the energy of love, that they have these illusions about what it means to be in a relationship, you saw the truth of their foundation and you moved away. And some of those people are sad that you saw through the illusion of who they were. And they could be sad that, they can destabilize you and make you stop loving yourself and believing in yourself. And now you're going to move forward victoriously in the energy of love. And they might have went off and gotten themselves in a new relationship to create an illusion that they were over you. But again, if we're not being truthful and honest, and we're not willing to grow and mature ourselves and let go of old ways of being to love and believe in ourselves and get more emotionally balanced and stable within ourselves, they could be moving forward in a relationship that's very unstable. But they're trying to create the illusion it's love. They're trying to create an illusion that they've let go of the past, that they're moving forward victoriously. But they're still operating from a shadow nature, which can be, I'm fearful, I'm insecure, I'm prideful, I'm egotistical, I'm emotionally defensive, I'm immature, I have a lot of lessons to learn. I'm fearful of love, I'm fearful of being hurt. I have this illusion that I can be in relationships, that I don't have to deal with my past pain and heartbreak, that I can keep moving forward in this unstable way of being, aligning with my fear, my ego, my emotionally defensive, self-centered nature, and that's the way I'm going to keep moving forward. And if I can confuse people about the truth, about why some loving people who do seem to be all about love and home and family and emotional balance, why they left my life, part of the way to confuse people about the truth about why a relationship ended, for some, they're creating the illusion that there's someone in their past that they feel like they missed an opportunity with and that they wanted to move forward with those people. But it could just be an illusion they're creating to confuse people about the truth, about why they didn't move forward with loving people in their life. And the reason loving people moved away from them is either because they don't deal with their past pain and heartbreak, and they do just create illusions in relationships. But if they're not willing to move forward in the energy of love, why are they in relationships? Out of fear, out of insecurity, out of codependency, out of ego, out of image. And other people end up seeing the truth about it and they move away from them. But they don't want people, and they also could reject loving people in their life because it would require, from the 5 to the 7, we have a 2 of Cups at play. And the Lover's card is Gemini energy, which is about what aspect within myself am I going to align with that I believe I can manifest what I desire in the world. And some people aren't willing to align with love because it would require that they work through their past pain and heartbreak and their emotional confusion and their more unstable ways of being in the world. And they'd have to do the work to get in the driver's seat of their life and take control of their life and, offset their fear, their insecurity, their pride, their ego, their emotionally defensive nature. They'd have to do a lot of work. And some people don't want to do that work. It takes self-reflection. Why didn't relationships work out in the past? How did I contribute to those relationships not working out? The Tower talks about seeing the truth and freeing ourselves from an old way of being and seeing that the truth is to love ourselves, to believe in ourselves, to be more emotionally balanced, not be self-centered, not be egotistical, not be like manipulative and controlling and all those things in a relationship. Some people don't want to see the truth of it. That in itself could destabilize them. When we're ready to see the truth, we're willing to deal with the truth. When our life becomes so unstable that we kind of have no choice because our life is going to really fall apart if we don't, that could be when people finally do the work within themselves. But we can't make people be willing to see the truth. Some people could have been in relationships with people in their past that didn't choose to work with them from a foundation of love. And sadly, it emotionally confused them that other people in their past were operating from an unstable foundation. They could have looked very successful in the world. Everything could have looked great by worldly standards, but they were hurt and emotionally confused in that foundation, but they're not willing to let that old foundation go. They're not willing to see the truth that a foundation they might have operated within in the past made them sad, made them emotionally confused. And instead of seeing the truth and acknowledging that some people we could work with in our past were fallible human beings, they could have been more about ego and image. They could have been operating from a little unstable foundation, which can just be they're a little manipulative, they're a little prideful and egotistical, they're maybe more driven by social aspects. Maybe they were very self-centered, maybe they were very egotistical, maybe everybody had to orient around them, everybody else had to put aside their pride and ego, but not that person. They could have dealt with people like that. And because it hurt them and it emotionally confused them, they're afraid of trusting other people and loving other people. And it keeps them unstable because maybe they haven't learned then to love themselves. We have to learn to deal with our past sadness and emotional confusion and love ourselves and heal our own foundation so we can move forward in life. And some people haven't realized that they need to put work into their own foundation, that they are supposed to learn to release the past, quit being codependent on the past. If the past is over, we can't change it. If those people aren't even in our life anymore, we can't make those people love us and treat us with respect and kindness and all those good things. But we can love ourselves to heal our own foundation. We can give ourselves all the things that we wish they would have given us, so that we can heal that wound from a place of love and move forward. But it can be emotionally confusing when someone we had love for didn't want to move forward with us in a more emotionally balanced manner. And it can be confusing and it can kind of destabilize us for a while, put us in our fear, in our insecurity, in our emotional defensiveness, in our ego, maybe affect our self-worth and all those things. But we have to see the truth that some people either have illusions about what it means to be in a relationship, and we don't view relationships that same way. Everybody has their idea of how they view relationships. Some people think that people should stay in a relationship and everybody should focus on the past pain and heartbreak. Everybody should be emotionally confused. Nobody should do work within themselves to heal themselves and see the truth of things. You know, there's a lot of people who want to be in denial of the truth. They don't want to self-reflect. They don't want to deal with it. I'm just going to keep moving on. I'm going to present this facade that I'm an emotionally balanced, loving person, but I've never dealt with any of my past issues that keep me in my shadowy Aquarius energy. They might decide I'm going to move forward and I'm going to look like a shining star in the world. It's all about, like, because our shadow nature is our more worldly nature, focused on the world. I'm going to move forward and put a lot of work and effort to looking victorious in the world, to have the status, to have the image, to have the money. And then it'll all be better, they think. But if they get in relationships with people who are more emotionally balanced and loving, those people aren't going to indulge them in a relationship with them operating from their shadow nature, which is emotionally defensive, which can be very self-centered. It's all about me protecting myself emotionally. I don't want to be hurt emotionally. I've been hurt before. I find emotions too confusing. I want to keep my emotions buried beneath the surface. It's kind of like people who want to indulge in a relationship without being authentic, without being vulnerable. And people who have a dream of being in more emotionally balanced, loving relationships are going to move away from them until they do that work within themselves. You know, we've got to get out of our ego. We got to get out of being so self-protective. We've got to put in some work and effort within ourselves. And some people, instead of, again, we either empower ourselves or in our shadow nature, we don't empower ourselves. We don't do the work within ourselves. And then we look outside of ourselves to the world, to the things of the world, to other people. You make me feel better. I'm going to indulge in things of the world and people of the world because you're the answer. You're supposed to make me happy. You're supposed to make me feel stable and secure. But then they don't, that's them not taking responsibility for doing this work within themselves. And they can get in relationships with people who are very loving and nurturing and supportive, but eventually their issues bubble back up to the surface. And again, they don't think it's their responsibility to deal with it. That was your job. You must not be doing your job. My issues are bubbling back up to the surface. I'm feeling sad. I'm emotionally confused. And I don't take responsibility to empower myself and work through my issues. You were supposed to make me feel better. You were the love I was looking for. And if my issues are bubbling up, well, then I'm going to have to let go of you because I need someone else who's going to be the fix for what I need. And then they go get in another relationship. You're the answer. You're the ticket. You're going to make it all go away. I don't have to do work within myself. And then those people, maybe move away. And it just keeps being emotional confusion. The divine is keep trying to show them the truth. Other people love and believe in themselves and they want to be in healthy relationships. And if you're fearful and insecure or prideful or egotistical or really emotionally defensive, they don't want to be in a relationship with you because It's not a very loving environment. I mean, initially it can seem that way. That's the Seven of Cups, about creating the illusion of love. But eventually the truth is revealed, that it's more of a facade, and them wanting you to maybe stay in the relationship and move forward with them because of the facade, you being in your shadow nature of your ego and your competitive nature and your codependent nature, not willing to let them go and to stay in the relationship, where you also then are feeling sad and feeling emotionally confused because your person is doing things that aren't really loving. It could be being immature and selfish and self-centered or bossy or controlling or whatever. And eventually people who love and believe in themselves and listen to their intuition realize they need to let this relationship go, and they move on from these people. So some of these people right now might be sad again because they never deal with it. And they're going to try to create the illusion again that they've let go of the past. No, they're over that. They've healed. That they're moving forward victoriously with someone else. And the same thing could happen again over and over and over until they're willing to see the truth. And if it is that they're very in shadowy Aquarius energy, kind of self-centered, egotistical, it's all supposed to be about them, other people aren't buying into that illusion. Other people want more emotionally balanced, loving relationships. And they could have this illusion that they're supposed to be indulged in a relationship, and they don't get it. And until they do, the same thing's going to keep happening over and over and over. So, any of you who have dealt with some people like that in your life, what people don't know about you is that you have emotionally, because the feminines in tarot can talk about our emotional state, you emotionally have invested a lot of time and effort into how you view relationships and what kind of relationship you want to be in, about your own foundation of self, how you view yourself in relationship to the world, how you view the world. Are you someone who is willing to put in the work and effort to believe in yourself and believe in your dreams? Or are you wanting to keep repeating some patterns of the past? I would say if you're in the high vibe row, you are really giving some thought and effort into what you're going to invest in next, which will be the Eight of Pentacles, which is looking to the future. And what people don't know about you is that, and even this person down here who might want to be in a relationship with you, that you're holding back from them because you are doing this work within yourself, within your own foundation, to love yourself and take that creative, inspired action to get out of your ego, to get out of your competitive energy, to get out of any shadowy energy, to be more bold and brave and confident within yourself, and to be in life-giving energy within yourself, and incorporate more life-giving energy of hope and faith and belief in yourself and in your dreams, to be more bold and brave and confident. And that could be the whole reason why you were drawn and attracted to get in a relationship with someone anyway, because the divine knew that relationship would be a catalyst for you to learn to invest in holding back from people who are prideful, egotistical, and defensive, or self-centered, or manipulative, because this is Leo energy, and in shadow it can be that. If you don't want to be in relationships, because you've maybe been in relationships with people who are like that before, you don't want to be in relationships with people like that anymore. And we need to align with putting in some work and effort into letting go. From the 7 to the 4, we're letting go of a 3 of Pentacles. And the 3 of Pentacles could have been a foundation within ourself where we kind of maybe could have been drawn and attracted to people who maybe in their Leo energy do shine bright in the world, seem like successful. We could have been kind of drawn to people because we had lessons to learn. We could have been a little bit in our pride or ego or fear or insecurity. And it was to learn to invest in loving ourselves. So it's letting go of that foundation, which could have been your more worldly focused foundation, for you to learn lessons that if I indulge in my more worldly foundation instead of my more hopeful, believing, intuitive way of living my life, aligning with my more loving, intuitive nature than my worldly nature and how I used to view the world and how I used to view relationships, I've learned lessons from getting in those type of relationships. And I'm holding back from people who are like that. And I'm also holding back from being in my ego, being in my defensive nature, and all those things. And I'm learning I need to invest in loving myself and standing up for myself and believing in myself and defending my dreams. And then you have the Two of Cups and the Empress energy. Because of the World card. The World card talks about having learned lessons in life. And you have learned to align with loving your more creative, inspired, intuitive nature. And this is Libra Taurus energy. And Taurus energy is earth sign energy, about putting in work and effort to love ourselves. Because in loving ourselves, that's what brings us the justice we deserve. Libra energy is represented by the scales of justice. Love, balance, and harmony. If we keep looking to people outside of ourselves as the answer, those relationships are probably not going to work out the way we thought, because the divine is wanting us to learn some lessons in life, that it's not people outside of ourselves or things outside of ourselves to indulge in. They're not the ticket to us feeling better. The answer is for us to love ourselves and emotionally to put in the work and effort to balance ourselves, to offset our fears, our insecurities, our self-limiting beliefs with love and compassion and forgiveness. We've all had lessons to learn in life. This game of life isn't easy, you know? And I think the biggest lesson we can learn in life is to learn to love ourselves and treat ourselves with kindness and compassion and forgiveness in our own head. You know, we don't control anyone else in the world. Who knows how the hell they're going to treat us? We should be loving within ourselves. We should learn to become our own best mother, father, coach voice in our head, because we're probably all adults now and people aren't. We're not supposed to keep being indulged like a child and looking to other people to fill us up emotionally. We have to learn to fill our own cup emotionally. And we need to be a good manager of our life, and we're our only client. So we need to learn lessons in life, to love ourselves, and emotionally to put in that work and effort to be balanced within ourselves, to not indulge in our more immature, indulgent, selfish, greedy, entitled, lazy nature. If we keep doing that, we keep looking to other people. Well, I'm sad and I'm emotionally confused and I want to feel better. Will you move forward with me in a relationship? I don't want to do the work within my own foundation. I think you're the ticket to me feeling better. And those relationships are going to keep falling apart because we're meant to see the truth that we are meant to get in the driver's seat of our own life. To stabilize ourselves emotionally from a place of love. And that is when we have learned a significant life lesson. And then when we're aligned with that within ourselves, that's what manifests in our world. We have become what we want to see in our world. We shouldn't expect that people are going to be just and fair and loving and encouraging and supportive if we aren't that within ourselves. If we are in this energy within ourselves, that's kind of what we're going to manifest. Our inner world is what manifests in our outer world. And if we're tired of learning lessons from bad relationships, it's like, okay, I'm going to invest in learning the lesson I was meant to learn from these past life experiences. And I'm going to invest in loving myself so that the masculine can talk about how we present ourselves in the world and how we take action in the world. And we all take action in masculine energy because our emotional nature is kind of our hidden realm. I want to be someone who takes action in the world authentically as a reflection of who I am internally. I was wondering if we had, oh, this is Leo energy. Leo energy and high vibe is, I am going to let my light shine. I choose to love myself. I choose anybody else. I don't control you. You have free will. You can act whatever way you want in the world. You can act towards me in whatever free will choice way you choose to act. I do not take personal responsibility for your choices in life. And I don't take it personally how you choose to act because I don't control you. And I shouldn't try to control you. And I can't. You're a free will human being. You act the way you want. I'm good with it either way. Because I know myself and I love and respect myself and I am growing and maturing myself and standing up for myself. How other people choose to act in the world, I no longer am going to take it as a reflection of me or my worth and value. There has been people in my life who I wished would have been loving and kind and encouraging and supportive, and they weren't. And it could have really emotionally confused me that other people chose to act in an unloving way. Wouldn't we like everybody in the world to be loving and kind and nurturing and supportive? Well, that's not the truth of reality. We have a dualistic nature. Everyone has free will to align with whichever way of being they want to be in the world. We live in a dualistic world. Some people aren't motivated to be loving and kind and giving and supportive and encouraging. They've got their own issues to deal with, and it might show itself as being unkind, unloving, manipulative, rude, selfish, greedy, self-centered. We just have to accept the reality of it. That's who they choose to be. It does not have to destabilize me from loving myself. That's who they choose to be. And I'm going to maintain my balance in the face of people who choose to turn their back on being just and fair and loyal and committed and loving. People who turn their back on learning lessons in life. People who defend operating more from pride and ego. People who invest in shadowy Capricorn energy, shadowy Taurus energy, shadowy Gemini, shadowy Leo. They hold back from loving people, maybe because they're defensive to it. I could get hurt doing that. I don't want to open up. I know I have issues to deal with, but I don't want to grow and mature myself. I don't want to take creative action about my philosophy of life or my view of relationships. I want to keep living life the way I have. They might be very more worldly focused, more motivated and inspired by money and materialism or status or image or ego or addictions or indulgence. Gemini energy is about what am I going to align with that I think will bring my dreams into reality. And some people don't want to put in the work and effort to even be just and fair in a relationship. They like in shadowy Capricorn, doesn't mean they're a Capricorn. You know, we all harness these energies. High vibe Capricorn is being free of your ego and your self-centeredness and your more materialistic view of life. Shadowy Capricorn is people who don't like to open up, people who don't give freely of themselves. They're kind of cling to these old ways of being. They're kind of selfish. Shadowy Taurus can be a little emotionally stubborn, prideful, egotistical. We're talking about Aquarius. Shadowy Aquarius plays in here. Their dream in life could be to be in a relationship with people who invest in them, with them still being kind of selfish and greedy, materialistic, not opening up, being defensive. And that's the type of relationship they want to be in, where people indulge them, which I think people being selfish and greedy and not willing to incorporate love into their foundation, but yet they want you to be loving to them, hoping you'll be defensive of closing out a chapter with them and loving and believing in yourself to give birth to something new. Hoping you'll be fearful and insecure and defensive, so you'll keep indulging them in a relationship. They don't want to give birth to anything new. They don't want to learn lessons in life, but they do want to be indulged in a relationship. They want to be in relationships, preferably with people who are loving and giving and kind and encouraging and supportive, but they're not really that way. It's more about them being indulged in a relationship. And you're like, I deserve to be in a relationship with people who are just and fair, people who've done work within themselves emotionally to temper their ego and their fear and their insecurity and their self-centeredness. And apparently those people are defending living their life the way they live it. And you're like, okay, I see the truth. I'm not an illusion about who you are. And I'm closing out this cycle. And I'm going to give birth to something new. Tell us what the high vibe Aquariuses are going to give birth to. There might be someone here you would like to be in a relationship with, someone who harnesses this energy in a high vibe way. But the whole thing is, if there's people in your life that aren't willing to be more emotionally bold and brave and confident in life, they would maybe have to end some old ways of being, maybe where they're kind of in their ego or think they should have a position of privilege in relationship. Then you're moving on. It's like, people either are inspired by just and fair and balanced and loving relationships, or they're not. And I'm going to give birth to the people. I'm going to give birth to that in my life. If you want to come with, then get out of your ego and come on with. And if you don't, I wish you peace. The Ten of Wands in reverse and the Three of Pentacles. You are letting go of some people in your life that it might have been really overwhelming to work with them, because they are so driven by their egoic nature or their worldly nature, and you're dropping the burden. That's how you want to live your life. I'm at peace about it. You do you, boo. And then we have something here that's not showing itself, and the reason these cards came out is because of the Knight of Cups, which is Pisces energy, which is tapping into your emotions and your intuition and believing in your dreams and what's possible and taking action in the world, looking to the future, offering love and respect and kindness and stuff to people, to find the people in the world who want to reciprocate that. And some of the things that other people might not know about you, for one, is that your foundation in the Ten of Pentacles is Virgo energy. You have offered love to your foundation to see the truth that life is about loving your own inner child and believing in yourself and investing in yourself to grow and mature yourself and believe in yourself and believe in your dreams, and your foundation is aligned with your inner truth, and some people don't know that about you. And then also, when cards aren't showing themselves, it's also people that you've cut out of your life. And you might have been in a foundation previously with some people who were kind of immature and defensive to moving forward in love and hope and faith and belief. And it's like, that's okay. If that's how you want to live your life, I'm at peace with it. You go live your life that way. And I won't be in a long-term foundation with you, because my foundation is moving forward, loving and believing in myself and nurturing myself and wanting to be in relationship. There might have been someone who you view as harnessing high vibe Virgo energy versus kind of more worldly or shadowy Virgo energy. People who you view as being people who have done the work, who stand in their truth, in kind of that innocent way, not the combative, I got to fight and argue with you. You know, I have my truth and I'm moving forward in love too. And you might be offering a cup of love to someone who you believe harnesses those energies in a high vibe way. Other people don't know that though. Or you're moving forward and this hasn't come into reality yet, because you're still working on that within yourself, and it will come into your reality, and you will let go of the people in your life who were more immature and worldly focused or aligned with their more egoic worldly nature. Tell us about the people who harness more worldly Aquarius energy or more shadowy Aquarius energy. They are trying to give birth to a new relationship. Well, generally what the question is what they don't see coming. What they don't see coming is the high vibe people in their life, because the Empress was up here too. They didn't expect, they could have thought that if they held back from you, maybe even gotten another relationship, that you'd keep focused on them. And maybe the Seven of Pentacles talks about wanting to invest in something. They could have thought that if they did all those things, you would give up on loving and believing in yourself, and that you'd put an end to that in the World card, and that you'd come back and be willing to do the relationship their way. That you would put an end to moving forward in your life from love, and that you would let go of that and want to reunite because you're emotionally confused that this person did things that were hurtful and unkind. But you went within to stand up for yourself and said, that wasn't loving, that wasn't kind, and I don't want to be in a relationship. When I was in a relationship with you, you had the free will to hold on to this relationship, to be bold and brave and creative and loving and nurturing and supportive, to incorporate love into your foundation of how you view the world and relationships. But you defended your philosophy of life, which is to be more selfish and greedy and more about yourself, thinking people should indulge you in a relationship. And you said, that's not love. I love myself, and I deserve to be in relationships with people who have done the work within themselves to be loving, not defensive, not fearful, not self-centered, not prideful, egotistical. And with the kind of people in your life who might have tried to manipulate and control you by causing you pain and heartbreak and all this stuff, they didn't see that you're going to give birth to a new relationship. They didn't realize that you would put in the work and effort to get the justice you deserve, to get balance within yourself, to love and believe in yourself. And because you did, they're trying to also give birth to a new relationship because you moved on. And now they're going to have to try to emotionally confuse people about the truth about why that relationship ended because they don't want them to see the truth. And they're going to try to create an illusion with someone else that they're loving and emotionally balanced and stable, that they've seen life from our perspective. But it won't turn out the way they expected. Either because the other people are eventually also going to listen to their intuition and realize this person is kind of unstable, that they're kind of want to be indulged in a relationship, or that they're just creating an illusion that they're willing to move forward in a victory, but they're really not, because it could be more about just indulging themselves in a relationship. Also, they could get in a relationship with someone who's like themselves. If you reject loving people, what kind of people are you going to align with in your life? Probably, it could be both, because some people wear a really good social mask and they could get another person who's loving and nurturing, and the same thing's going to happen again. If they get in a relationship with someone who's more like themselves, because the divine knows they need to learn lessons, that they might get in a relationship with someone who's emotionally manipulating them, trying to present themselves as being emotionally balanced and loving, but really they're just creating an illusion. And they don't plan on moving forward with them. They could have been trying to manipulate someone else. Look, I got in a new relationship. Look at me. I've had a victory. When people are in shadow, they could be trying to manipulate other people. So they could get in a relationship with someone who is like, oh my gosh, you're just like me and you're kind of more ego focused or image focused or, caught up in the illusion of who I am. And really the other person doesn't plan to really move forward with them. It's maybe just to manipulate them because they're trying to get someone else in their life who wanted them to move forward in love to come back and get in a relationship with them and do the relationship the way they wanted. So the whole point of it is we get in shadowy relationships to get us to give birth to loving ourselves and believing in ourselves. And some people want shadowy Libra Taurus energy. In shadow can be people who are more aligned with their more, I think it's just and fair to get in relationships to be indulged. I should be the pampered, privileged person in the relationship. People should indulge me in a relationship. I'm the star of the show. Look maybe how victorious and successful I look in life. People should indulge me and want to be in a relationship with me. Some people are very self-centered and egotistical. For other people, they think it's just and fair to put work and effort into looking victorious in the world, to have a lot of stability and abundance in their life, and that's what they're aligned with. And if they can get in a relationship with someone who looks very successful and victorious in the world, or it makes them look like they're moving forward very victoriously, that's the whole game plan, is for people to view them a certain way. And if they can get in a relationship with somebody who does have a lot of money and materialism, perfect. Look, I'm the winner. The only thing is, they're probably going to end up in regret and be emotionally confused because they're not building their life on a solid foundation. And if the people that are getting in relationship with them aren't operating from a place of love, and everybody's more driven by ego and image and money and materialism, well, my goodness, if there's someone else who comes along who's got more money, more image, more status, it's like, oh, sorry, I gotta let this go because there's someone else. I'd have more image and more status and more money. And that's really what drives and motivates me. Sorry, gotta go. And they could be left in regret anyway. If you're not willing to build a relationship on love, if you're not being authentic, if you're not being just and fair in a relationship, you'll most likely attract some people who play on your fear, your insecurity, your pride, your ego, your codependency, your image, your status for their own selfish, greedy, codependent, prideful, egotistical reasons. And it probably won't turn out the way you thought. I mean, to keep thinking people are going to keep indulging you in a relationship when you're kind of being defensive and selfish and greedy and more materialistically driven or ego driven, odds are those relationships won't work out very well. So there you go, Aquarius energy. I think you're going to have new beginnings in your life because you've aligned with your more loving, intuitive nature, and now the divine will bring things into your life that are a reflection of what's going on in your own mind. And the other people, because they could be fearful of love, they're probably going to draw other people into their life who are fearful of love. So there you go. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.